Jedi Survivor comes out in a little over a month, and today EA have released the official story trailer for the game. It's filled with plenty of details and little Easter eggs that you might have missed, so in this video I'll be breaking it down scene by scene, pointing out everything that you need to know. The trailer starts off with Cal falling out of some sort of ship. By the looks of the interior, this doesn't appear to be the Stinger Mantis, as the dashboard of the Mantis is predominantly glass, whereas here we can see loads of controls at the front of the ship. There is also a purge trooper that falls out of the window, indicating that this is more likely an Imperial vessel that Cal has somehow ended up on. The next scene has got a lot of people excited. As we follow the Mantis, we see it jump out of hyperspace, revealing the planet Coruscant. Based off the short previews we've received in the past few days, we thought we'd be getting this city-covered planet, and now it's confirmed. At the time that Jedi Survivor takes place, Coruscant is pretty much under total Imperial rule. Being able to visit and potentially explore this planet in updated and new graphics is something many Star Wars fans have been hoping for, and it looks like it could be a reality. Next we see Cal fight against a purge trooper in a hangar area, which appears to happen shortly after the crew land on the planet, as we can see the Mantis right here. We then see Cal take cover as he teams up with these people wearing yellow armor. These could possibly be the Coruscant Security Force, also known as the Coruscant Police. They wore similar yellow armor plates on their shoulders and chests, just like the one seen here. It seems that Cal is working with them just like he did with Saw Gerrera and the Resistance fighters back on Kashyyyk in Fallen Order. We then see an Imperial patrol ship pull up and start firing on Cal and his new friends. But if we slow this clip down and zoom in, we can see a detail that I'm sure 99% of people missed. In the bottom left, we can just make out a red lightsaber, and the person wielding this lightsaber is none other than the Ninth Sister. This was one of the Inquisitors we had to face in Fallen Order, and the last time we saw her was in the boss fight on Kashyyyk, where we chopped off her hand and sent her flying off a cliff. But clearly she has somehow survived, and I mean, if Palpatine can come back, I guess anyone can. But this is definitely cool to see because we now know that the Inquisitors are still in the picture and are hot on Cal's trail. Going back to the patrol ship, we do see this a few more times in the trailer, with one being a wide-angled shot of Coruscant, which looks beautiful as ever. And something to point out here is the giant pit in the middle, which leads down to the lower layers of the planet. This is where a lot of the crime and underworld activities takes place. It also appears that at some point in game, Cal will commandeer this patrol ship, as in another scene we can see him fly off looking over Coruscant, which could very well be on one of these vessels. We then revisit the cantina on Kobo, which we have seen several times already. In this scene, this defenseless frog looking guy is frantically scurrying away from one of the Bedlam raiders. What's interesting is in this clip, Cal is just sitting in the background looking on, but we know that Cal will eventually fight this Bedlam raider at some point, as that was shown in past trailers. So perhaps Cal decides to jump in last second and defend this innocent frog dude, which results in the two facing off. The Bedlam raiders are a faction on Kobo and are led by Ravis, who we have also seen a few times as well. Ravis is a Jedi, which are a species that are seemingly immortal. They have the ability to regenerate and regrow limbs. The only two ways to really kill one are by incinerating them or by physically destroying their brain. It'll be interesting to see how Cal faces off against this type of opponent, but it looks like Cal will be dealing with a lot more than just this guy, as we see him face off against what looks to be a bounty hunter wielding a lightsaber. We have seen this exact clip a few times now, but this time round there is one significant change. The enemy here is now wielding a crossguard lightsaber, whereas in previous trailers he was just using a normal lightsaber. So perhaps defeating this guy will allow Cal to unlock the new crossguard stance in combat. We also get to see the Mantis swoop down onto a planet that looks like it could be Kobo, and then we get to see Cal sitting next to Merrin. Yes, it's now confirmed that our Night Sister companion will be joining us in Jedi Survivor, and just like Bode Akuna, it appears we'll be able to team up with Merrin in combat and fight side by side. We can briefly see her green magic trail behind her during the scene where Cal has to parkour his way across this wall section, and near the end of the trailer we get to see a little finisher combo between Cal and Merrin, which is really cool to see. But something that caught my eye was the scene where Merrin is fighting against a stormtrooper, using some sort of staff as a weapon. It then looks like she uses the Force to push the trooper back, so maybe Cal has been showing her a thing or two in their spare time. We know of course that she can use her Night Sister magic, but this always leaves behind a green trail of sorts. But here it definitely looks like she is using a Force push to send the stormtrooper flying. Someone else fans are extremely happy to see see is Greez. Our trusty pilot from Fallen Order is making a return, and it looks like he could be running this cantina of sorts, where we see him and Cal embrace. Perhaps this is the same one on Kobo that we have seen a few times now. Greez is also now missing one of his arms, and I won't say how it happened to avoid spoilers, but he lost it during the events of Jedi Battle Scars, the recently released novel which is set sometime between Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. In this cantina scene, we can see a bartender droid, and just behind Cal there is a broken door that looks like it can't be accessed. We know that a key feature of Kobo will be the ever-evolving and changing areas on the planet as we progress through the story, so potentially at some point during Cal's journey we will be able to see just what's behind that door. We then see another glimpse of a bounty hunter who could be from Haxion Brood, the crime syndicate that captured Cal in the first game. We see him fly over Cal using a jetpack and spray down fire from his flamethrower. Next, we get a look at Cal using his grappling hook up in the clouds near some sort of base. I'm about 99% sure this takes place on Kobo, because this looks identical to the floating structure we can see from IGN's gameplay as we overlook the southern reach. We can just make out the same cliffs that Cal is jumping on in the new trailer as well. There are two different energy beams being shot out into the sky, with one looking like it's coming from the ground and another coming from the base itself. We can also see a bunch of different TIE fighters circling around this base, and if we look to the left we can see one pop out of literally nowhere, and once you see it you can't unsee it, and it's pretty jarring. I don't know why they let that one slip in there, but anyway, chasing this magically appearing TIE fighter is actually an X-Wing, which is a cool little feature. Maybe we will get to see some of the early foundations of the Rebel Alliance. After all, Jedi Survivor does take place in 9 BBY, which is 9 years before the Rebels blow up the first Death Star in A New Hope. It could just be an Easter egg however, but it's still a cool little addition nonetheless. Next we see who is presumably one of the main antagonists in the game, being the mysterious Jedi that was held in cryostasis of some sort for the past 200 or so years. We still don't know much about this guy, but here we can see the signet of the High Republic on his outfit. Now if you don't know, the High Republic was an era where Jedi were at their peak, and it took place around 200 years before the Phantom Menace. There's still loads of questions surrounding this character, like why was he frozen in time, is he actually a Jedi or something else entirely? We do see that he has a lightsaber in this trailer, which for the record, that hilt is extremely long, and in the original reveal trailer we see Cal square off against someone with a red lightsaber, which is most likely this guy, so it will be interesting to see where his allegiances lie. In the trailer he says,
"How could you let the galaxy fall to this unworthy machine of an empire?"
So clearly he isn't with the Empire, and we even see him chuck a stormtrooper helmet out in front of Cal to staple that home. I'm definitely intrigued to see more about this character, and so far it seems that they're keeping his story and motives hidden for now. I also really want to point out how much this guy's voice sounds like Anakin and Hayden Christensen. That's just something that jumped out to me straight away first time watching it. In the same scene with the Mystery Jedi, we get to see a glimpse of Bode Akuna. He pops up again exchanging words with Cal in the Mantis, and then again in a combat scene where he fires dual blasters at a security droid while jetpacking up in the air. Cal then comes in and lands the finishing blow with his lightsaber. Back on the Mantis, we see Cal, Merrin and Greez look at the holotable, which shows what looks like an asteroid of some sort. And in Cal's voiceover, he says that he thinks they have finally found somewhere that the Empire can't reach them, and a place that's worth fighting for. Now this could mean a number of things, from Kobo, which will be our base planet, or maybe this asteroid. Who knows, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And wrapping up the trailer, we get a good look at Greez, who looks happy for some reason, and he's also grown out his hair. We then flash to Seer, which is the only time we get to see her in the entire trailer. The final scene shows Cal piloting the Mantis as he evades and blows up a tailing TIE fighter. I would love to see some ship combat or flying mechanism, even if it was just in a brief segment in a mission. I thought getting to control the AT-AT in Fallen Order was epic, and the Stinger Mantis probably didn't get enough love in the first game. Sure, it had its cosmetics in the terrarium, but besides for that, we didn't get to see much of it in action, besides for a few small cutscenes. So hopefully somehow they can implement it into the gameplay of Jedi Survivor, which would really be great. Now if this trailer has got you super pumped and excited for Jedi Survivor, I highly recommend checking this video out before you decide to buy the game. I go through everything you need to know about all the additions editions available and which one is the best value to get. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, take care.